Madame Cuba, todas as frutas que não pude finicar. Mas eu fiz tudo para ver se conhecia. Botei a pista para ver se ele comia. Botei gato nos pataús, para ver se ele saca para que eu vou limitação.
Who signed themselves a tennis, and for Joe Clare at APO 453, George Bizacco and Martha D. Andrews at APO 73, Ed Lilly at APO 246, and Russell Isley and Jack Bean, both care of the Fleet Post Office, San Francisco. Here it is. I was alone on a shelf in a world by myself. Oh, where could my Prince Charming be? But a man came along, made my life like a song, and taught me these words of ecstasy. Tenderly, I want some hugging and squeezing and some mugging and some teasing and stuff like that there. I want some petting and some spooning and some happy honeymooning and stuff like that there. I used to think that love was just a lot of rubbish. I'm as a cabbage, but now my attitude is wholly lovey-dovey. And baby, you've done it. I want some kissing and some hoping and some missing and some hoping and stuff like that there. I want some leaping and some chasing and some weeping and some facing and stuff like that there. And when I get a certain feeling, I confess it. There's really only one expression to express it. Yeah. I want some hugging and some squeezing and some mugging and some teasing and stuff like that there.
Sing it.
I want some kissing and some hoping and some missing and some moping and some stuff like that there. I want some leaping and some chasing and some weeping and some facing and some stuff like that there. And when I get a certain feeling, I confess it. There's really only one expression to express it. I want some hugging and squeezing and some mugging and some teasing and stuff like that there. And now we have a big treat for everybody. It's that sensational new comedy star, the hit of Up in Arms and Wonder Man, Danny Kaye.
Yes, here.
You don't understand what I'm doing on a hillbilly show? It's very simple, Miss Karnofsky. I'm what you call a Russian hillbilly.
Yeah, well, I never heard of one before.
You never heard of a Russian hillbilly? Certainly. Russian hillbillies are the same as Americans. In fact, over there we even got Dorothy Basko, Drotspachi Kliazis is now Drotspachi Kliazniel Graf.
Well, now what does that mean?
Outside plumbing.
Danny, do Russian hillbillies sing?
You betcha. Of course. You're now looking at the head tenet of the life can be borscht with potatoes. This on the side, singing group.
Well, what part do you sing?
Well, when we are singing the Volga Boatman, I am singing the yoik interpretation.
The yoik interpolation?
Well, of course, it goes like this. Hey, the whoop, yam, yoik. Hey, the whoop, yam, yoik. The society told me that I'm the biggest yoik they ever had.
You know, Daddy, I like Russian food pretty well. What do you have for breakfast?
Vodka.
Yeah, well, what do you have for lunch?
Vodka.
Gee whiz, and what do you have for dinner?
More vodka.
Say, that must be some country there. Is the scenery beautiful?
After all this vodka, anything is beautiful.
Getting back to the real you, though, Danny. Didn't you just come back from a bond tour in the East?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, we did, honey. Eve Arden, the rest of the show, and myself spent a number of weeks traveling.
And the mine from south of the border, who I know is going to be as big a hit with you as she was in her first picture, that Oscar Award short feature, Bombolero. She's about the prettiest little Spanish girl that's come across the pike in many a fiesta. Here she is, Olga San Juan. Well, welcome to Command Performance, Olga.
Muchas gracias.
Gosh, Olga, you sure are pretty.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah, and you got that beautiful complexion.
Muchas gracias.
By the way, what do you think of my look? Muchas gracias. Olga, I love everything that's Spanish. In my new home, I built myself a patio.
¿A patio, señorita?
Yeah, you know, that's the hacienda that blew its top. Well, what you gonna sing for us, Olga?
A song called Chico Chico.
Well, get right to it, honey.
Yeah.
Oh, Chico Chico. Oh, Chico Chico. Oh, Chico Chico, Chico Chico, Chico Chico, Chico Chico, Chico Chico. Tão outra vez aqui. O Chico Chico está comendo meu fubá. Se o Chico Chico tem que se quer de alimentar, que vai comer umas minocas no pomar. O Chico Chico está outra vez aqui. O Chico Chico está comendo meu fubá. E o Zequiel vem vive no meu quintal, que vem com ar esse canário de pardal. Mas por favor, tira esse bicho do celeiro, porque ele acaba comendo o fubá inteiro. Tira esse Chico de lá, de cima de meu fubá. De tantas frutas que não pude pinicar. Pois eu fiz tudo para ver se conhecia. Botei a pizza para ver se ela comia. Botei gato no espantal. Essa forma telhada que é fubá, que é a boa alimentação. Tira esse bicho do celeiro, porque ele acaba comendo o fubá inteiro. Tira esse Chico de lá, de cima de meu fubá. De tantas frutas que não pude pinicar. Mas eu fiz tudo para ver se conhecia. Botei a pizza para ver se ele comia. Botei gato no espantal. Essa passa, ela sabe que é fubá, que é boa alimentação. Why don't you go away? Go away.
Tickets, please. Have your tickets ready.
Here's mine, conductor.
Thank you. What about your little boy?
My little boy. I'm not this boy's mother.
Are you not?
No, you may not believe this, Mr. Conductor, but her and I is on a honeymoon.
Oh, come now. Why should a pretty girl like her marry a little boy like you?
For my money.
Conductor, any resemblance between this little boy and myself is purely coincidental. Now go away, little boy, go away.
Now, don't you holler at me. I'm just getting over being sick.
Oh, I'm sorry. What was wrong with you?
Well, first I had the chicken coop. Then I got the weasel. And after that, I had the bump. And now I got the hookup. I caught him for my sister.
Oh, your sister has the hiccup?
Oh, no, she's a little girl. She has the she-cup.
Well, are they doing anything for her?
Oh, yes, ma'am. The doctors, they fixed her with sulfonamylin and mercurinorm.
Now, look, don't bother. Never mind. Look, why don't you go over there and look out the window?
Okay, Roger. Oh, telephone poles come by. That was two of them together.
What now?
Oh, we're going around the turn, and oh, there's a cow standing on the tracks right in front of the locomotive. Oh, look out!
What happened to the cow?
One meatball.
Come on back here, Danny. You can't get away with just singing them little old bitty notes. Boys want to hear a full-length song from you.
Coach me.
All right. Okay,
That's
now.
enough, I'll sing. We'd like to run through a little ditty that we stumbled through on Wonder Man called Bolly Boogie. Somewhere off the coast of Java fell a little piece of lava that grew up to be the island known as Bali. Bali la, Bali la, Bali, Bali, Bali la. Every native girl and sorta like the farmer's daughter oughta, and for dancing they are simply off their trolley. Trolley la, trolley la, trolley, trolley, trolley la. But they hadn't seen a new step since Methuselah did the two-step on their isolated island. They were way off beat. From jive they were closeted till a storm deposited on their beach a dive, and Jack from Lower Basin Street. So he took their native movements, added in the groove improvements, and here's the way it's played on the Bali Hit Parade. Bataka boing boing, aquataka zoot flute. Bataka boing boing, aquataka reed beat. Bataka boing boing, aquataka live jive. A haka choo choo Chattanooga Valley boogie. A waka song song, a waka slick lick. A waka song song, a waka half step. A waka song song, a waka live jive. A haka choo choo Chattanooga Valley boogie. Now if you can't dig the chatter with the greatest of ease, it really doesn't matter. Here's the translation, please. Yaka bataka boing boing, a waka song song means shoot the lava to me Java. Bataka boing boing, aquataka live jive. Bataka boing boing, aquataka reed beat. Bataka boing boing, aquataka head step. A haka choo choo Chattanooga Bali boogie. Bali boogie, Bali boogie. Bali boogie, Bali boogie woogie. Bali boogie, Bali boogie woogie. Bali boogie. Now if you can't dig the chatter with the greatest of ease, it really doesn't matter. Here's the translation, please. Jacka bataka boing boing, a waka song song means shoot the pinky to me stinky. Bataka boing boing, aquataka live jive. Bataka boing boing, aquataka reed beat. Bataka boing boing, aquataka head step. A haka choo choo, 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 Chattanooga Bali boogie.
And here's a little something requested by a lot of you fellas and all the services who come from the West, the Navajo Trail. Every day along about evening, when the sunlight's beginning to fade, I ride through the slumbering shadows along the Navajo Trail. When it's night and crickets are calling and coyotes are making a wail, I dream by smoldering fires along the Navajo Trail. I love to lie and listen to the music when the wind is strumming a sagebrush guitar. When over yonder hill the moon is climbing, it always finds me wishing on a star. morning already. There's the dawning, so silver and pale. It's time to climb into my saddle and ride the Navajo Trail. Oh, the Navajo Trail. Well, that gets us down to the last scrapings in the grits pan. Don't forget the light string is always out, so come in and set a spell. This is Judy Canova speaking for all of us and saying so long. Good night.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Good shoe starts from the ground up. At Eris, we make high-quality footwear. In fact, you can find Eris running shoes in over 140 countries around the world. In the past, there's been some criticism about our workers. That's why I'm here at one of the Eris factories so you can meet some of them. Excuse me, sir. Do you enjoy your job here?
It's fun. We get to play with knives.
I see. Is there a real sense of teamwork?
My friend Joey sewed his hands together.
Wow, you're learning some real skills. How about the salary and benefits?
Yesterday, I made $1.
See, that's the kind of dedication we have to our employees and the quality of our shoes. Eris running shoes. Always running from something.
You were alone in your book-lined study, listening to the idiot gibberings of a parrot. And beside you, caressing you, is an invisible thing. A loathsome thing from which you must escape.
Every night at 10. Radio. Don't know if you've noticed, but there are a lot of good tunes about in this place. Can't even throw a can of beans without hitting 2 or 3. KJNT.
Frontal boundary coming through. A few showers associated with it. Ooh, look at all these storms breaking through. Breaking out. Finally admitting to their parents who they truly are. And introducing them to their new friend.
KJNT. All jaunt. All the time.
Truth is stranger than fiction. And this is the proof. This is Ripley's Believe It or Not.
There is a bell in the lamasery of Porella in Lhasa, the most sacred sanctuary of Tibet, and it's inscribed with the first words of the Christian hymn, Te Deum Laudamus, Believe It or Not. In a moment, I'll tell you the macabre story of the silent groom. Dorothy Ford was betrothed to the Reverend William Street, rector of the parish of Southpool, England. Her fiancé died a few days before their wedding. At the urging of friends who said they'd been visited by the Reverend Spectre, which complained his soul could not rest while his pledge to marry was unredeemed. The coffin containing the rector's body was brought to the local church. There, in a public marriage ceremony, Dorothy Ford was married to her dead lover. Believe it or not.
airstrike imminent. Please